hear from Mayor Daniela Levine Cava. We're going to hear from Mr. Eduardo Albor, who is the CEO of the Dolphin Company, which, as you know, is the parent company of Miami Seaquarium. We're going to hear from Pritam Singh, environmentalist, philanthropist, chairman of Sea Shepherd, and co-founder of Friends of Toki. And we have, as our special guest, Jim Irsay, Indianapolis Colts owner and CEO. Thank you all. Okay, so before we move on to the heart of the matter and while we're all here, I did also want to, on behalf of our hosts, thank Maria Marty, Christine Selena Coulter, and Mike Zimmer from Parks and Rec, not only for being with us today, but for your work and your partnership in making things better every day at the Miami Seaquarium. Also, Councilwoman Regalado, please stand. Thank you so much for joining us. We're also joined by Lumi Elder Raynell Morris. Raynell, thank you so much for joining us. And also Dr. Guillermo Sanchez. Dr. Sanchez is the president of the European Association for Aquatic Animals, and we really do appreciate all of our special guests joining us today. Okay, now, the news of why we are here. For the first time ever, a not-for-profit organization dedicated to animal welfare, in this case specifically ensuring that Lolita, our beloved orca, receives the highest quality of life. For the first time, this nonprofit organization is coming together with a private company that cares for animals, and they're coming together on common ground. Just a little while ago, Friends of Lolita, co-founded by Pritam Singh, and the Miami Seaquarium, represented by Mr. Eduardo Albor, signed a collaborative agreement to work together to return Lolita to her home waters. Congratulations to Mr. Singh and Mr. Albor. The place that we are now is the reality of a dream for Lolita's future. It's made possible in large part thanks to the leadership of Mayor Daniela Levine Cava. Mayor, I'd like to ask you to share with our guests your remarks on this extraordinary event. Please join me in welcoming the mayor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Daniela Levine Cava, Mayor of Miami-Dade County, and I want to thank everyone for convening here as the Miami Seaquarium and the Dolphin Company share updates on the health and well-being of Toki. We're here because we all care deeply about the health and well-being of this beautiful creature. And I'm very happy to be here for this historic announcement to begin the process to return Toki to her home waters. So many have worked, prayed, and hoped for this result for many, many years. Last year at this time, I joined the Seaquarium and the Dolphin Company along with Commissioner Regalado, the commissioner of the district, for their announcement to bring a third-party veterinarian to perform an independent medical evaluation of Lolita Toki's health. And last June, the results were publicly issued, which we were glad to see demonstrated improvement. And in December, I joined Friends of Toki's Day of Listening conference, where we gathered input and feedback directly from the public. Toki has been under the care of our county's finest marine veterinary experts and dedicated stakeholders. The county, the Seaquarium, Friends of Toki, Lolita, and the Dolphin Company have collaborated throughout and have always strived to do everything that we can to do right by her. I want to emphasize, as long as she has been in our care, she has been cared for. And she's had the support of a very strong community of concerned residents behind her. They've advocated for many, many years. So to all of you who care, we want to thank you for your care and concern for Toki. And I too have been both professionally and personally invested in her care. My administration has been a longtime supporter of Toki's long-term health. And under my leadership, the last 2.5 years as mayor, Miami-Dade County has successfully overseen the transfer of ownership of the Miami Seaquarium to the Dolphin Company, who in partnership with the Friends of Toki have stewarded her medical care. Because of that newly minted partnership and the increased trust and transparency, I believe we are standing here today for this momentous announcement. The most important thing is Toki's long-term well-being, and together, guided by the experts, we'll continue to do what is best for her. And we are also here to thank the enormous generosity of the advocates who are making this journey possible. Thank you to Pritam and to Jim Irsay for your deep care and investment in Toki's well-being. And thanks to all of you who are here today for your unwavering commitment to this incredible creature. Estoy muy feliz de estar aquí para este anuncio histórico de comenzar el proceso para devolver a Toki a sus aguas natales, lo que tantos han pedido y esperado por durante muchos años. Bajo mi liderazgo, el condado de Miami-Dade supervisó con éxito la transferencia de la propiedad de Miami Seaquarium a Dolphin Company, quienes están cuidando de la salud de la ballena junto a Friends of Toki. Y es gracias a esta nueva alianza y a la confianza y transparencia que hemos enfatizado tanto, es que estamos aquí escuchando este anuncio tan importante hoy. Lo más importante es el bienestar a largo plazo de Toki. Juntos, guiados por los expertos, continuaremos haciendo lo mejor para ella. Gracias. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And as the mayor has mentioned, there's been an incredible amount of collaboration in regard to really making significant improvements in Toki's welfare. And so I wanted to also take a moment to thank Toki's dedicated care team at the Miami Seaquarium. Of course, they've been caring for her for decades, and they really deserve thanks and appreciation. I also would like to introduce you just momentarily to Charles Vinnick. Charles is the co-founder of Friends of Lolita and a very important part of not only making Toki's life better, but also helping to make this a day possible as well. So thank you very much, Charles. So now I would like to invite Mr. Eduardo Albor, as you know, the CEO of the Dolphin Company, the parent company of Miami Seaquarium. Thank you, Mr. Albor.
Thank you. Debbie, can I speak from her?
You can speak wherever you want. Also, we have your picture here on the screen.
I see.
So speak wherever you want, but don't touch that.
No, no promise.
Okay, okay.
Thank you for allowing me to borrow your place. Good morning, all, and I feel a little bit more comfortable standing here and looking at all of you. And I have to confess, my Spanish is not as good as the Major's Spanish. So, if I'm allowed, I'll be speaking English. This is a very special day for all of you and even for me. It is amazing to see how many things you can achieve in 1 year when actions take place of words. Many people speak in many words, but when you make them to become actions, you can achieve many more things that you can do by speaking. Nevertheless, don't underestimate the power of words. And I'll share with you quickly just 3 situations that happened a few months before or during the process of taking Miami Seaquarium that make me now be here. Three things. During the process, after we execute the documents, still we need to go through the approval of the county, and it's when lawyers start working on the reviewing the contract and doing their work. And there was a moment that the lawyers told me there were negotiations and the county is asking some changes to the contract, and I was always looking to what were those changes. And I was surprised to see that the lawyers were paying more attention to changes on the well-being of the animals, and including in the contract. More than economic changes or legal changes, is always looking to the well-being of the animals. And I happen to understand this when one day my lawyers tell me, Mayor Levine wants to speak directly with you. All right. So they put me in a video conference with Mayor. That's the first time I met her. And she only asked me 2, 3 things, and all of them related to the well-being of the animals. One of them is she was asking and expecting for us to allow the external vets or independent vets were allowed to come and look to the animals, which was never was done and was not in the contract. And from my part, I said, why not? After my people were telling me, no, but this can create this conflict, and I said that we're going to do it. So put it in the contract. And then we went through the whole process. And the first thing is the day I'm at the county offices when the hearing was going to, our issue was in the list of items to be discussed in that hearing. At the hearing that day, I was there. I think at 9 a.m., 9:30 was the hearing. But anyway, I got a call, and somebody approaches to me and said, Major Levine wants to speak with you. I said, well, I hope that it's not bad news. But no, our Major just tell me we're going to be discussing the approval or not of the transfer of the contract. On all issues, I don't know what's going to happen because it's the decision of many people. But I want to ask you something. Sure, Major. If this is approved, please open your heart, open your mind, and let your company talk to the other groups, to the people who's interested in this. Let it happen. Open your heart and speak with them. That was her final request or recommendation. Then the process went on, and things were approved, and here we are. But I called my attention and said, how many things the mayor should have in her mind? And she said that she's taking a moment to still think about Lolita. It caught my attention how important it was for her, and made me aware how important it was, probably should be also for me. That was the first thing that caught my attention. And then between the moment that was approved and the lawyers put documents together, we took management. I wanted to go to Miami Aquarium before everybody knew me at the place and go as a mystery client, mystery shopper, which is a mystery guest. So I go on Sunday. I don't say everybody. I pay my ticket, full price, and I go with my daughter. The second of my daughters, she's animalist, more than anybody, any of you. She loves animals. She has 3 dogs sleeping in her room every day. But anyway, I go with her, and we walk around the place. Obviously, she knew that we were going to take interest in management of the Miami Aquarium. And we leave at the very, very end to go and see Lolita's show. So finally we go, and the place was full of children. I think it was in a Sunday. It was full of family, children, all of them excited, and all of them enjoying the show from Lolita. And I was just like a child also, and clapping and having a great time, until I hear my daughter say, hey, Dad, I have to go. I said, anything's wrong? You need to go to the restroom? No, I have to go. Why we need to go? I mean, this is great. I cannot be more time here because this place is too small for Lolita. What do you mean? It is too small. I feel so bad. I have to go or I will cry. All right, let's go. But I was saying, I mean, she's 22, 23 years, and she's telling me, I have to go or I will cry. But that touched me. And said, I mean, the perception that she had, she said, this place is too small. And she told me when we leave, if we ever take management of this place, you promise me that you will see how to improve this. I promise I will do it. Just a few days after Major made her final recommendation. And then in between those last days, I received so many emails from people asking me, hey, about making this happen. And hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails, which I barely can only look at one or two every day. But don't ask me why. I saw Pritam Singh email, hundreds of emails. I saw him, I didn't know who was him, and I read his email, and I answered, he was asking me, he was creating this organization, Friends of Lolita, invited me to be part of Friends of Lolita. And I told him, as soon as we take management, we speak. He was humble enough to wait. And then he came back and said, when we meet, I said, give me a few more days. We just recently took management. And he comes to me and he tells me, after a few weeks, hey, we want to see what we can do together, but we need to look and give an opportunity to Lolita. So this happens within probably a couple of months. And then I changed my mind. I have to promise you, because when we were planning and taking Miami Sequoia, it was not exactly the plan of doing what we are doing right now, but I had to change. And you need to open your mind and look to what is probably not your plan, but hear other people. And this is what I'm telling you right now. I know that all of you, or most of you, are thinking that about the future of Lolita and that how great it's going to be for her. Well, I tell you this is beyond Lolita. This is beyond Lolita. She is going to become a symbol. Lolita is the name of a bridge. Lolita is the name of a bridge, and that's how I see it beyond her. She is a bridge that will be connected to points of land and over a river, built over a river called Tolerance, and connecting 2 points of land called communication. How two different points of thinking, or two different positions that have always been discussing one to each other and separated by a river called Tolerance, now we are building a bridge called Lolita and connecting two groups, two tribes, two cultures above a river called Intolerance, and making things happen. Lolita is a bridge that is connecting two generations, that is connecting two different mentalities and showing the world how many great things can be achieved if you just walk from one point to another with the vision of we all are part of one world. We all are only spots that have to be connected. And more than just moving Lolita to a place where she will be better, she will become a symbol for us and the future generations, how many things can be achieved when we, besides words, we take actions. This is my main dream, that I live. I make a point to the new generations, to the current people, that stop discussing. Let's sit, let's talk, let's be tolerant, and let's look to make things happen. Thank you for your time, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Albor. I think that's a wonderful picture of Lolita as a bridge between two. Oh, this is also a lovely picture.
That's the boss. That's my boss called Cosmo.
But I think that Lolita as a bridge between two points of light, and making it possible for organizations that thought they were on opposite teams to realize that they are actually on the same team. Jim, I don't know if it's certainly offensive maybe for me to make a sports quote, but I'm sure you'll have more to say about that. But thank you so much, Mr. Albor. And Pritam, would you care to share with us your part of this journey with Lolita?
Yeah, but what do you say after that? Right? Um, I'd actually like Jim to speak next, if that's okay. And then I'll do, to use another sports analogy, I'll do cleanup.
So we're not going to mention the Patriots. No? Okay. All right.
Please, Jim.
Jim, we have your baby up on the screen as well.
I know it. He's right over there. There's Drake, and there's Drake with Michelle and I, and there he is right there. He's wondering if he can come up here, but not right now, buddy. Hold on. But thank you so much, and everyone, thank you for being here. Pritam, thanks for the introduction, and Mayor, it's certainly an honor to have you here, and just it's such an exciting day to hear Eduardo just such beautiful words, because the analogy and the symbolism of kind of what he was painting is, I think, the way that we all feel, and I know Charles and Pritam and Eduardo and I last night had a long conversation, and it's just blessed to be with others that have such big hearts and have really the same sort of intention, just the humility and the love and just the thoughtfulness of going into this endeavor, and particularly with Eduardo. I didn't know when I first was going to talk to him just what to expect on kind of how he would be coming at things, but he's a remarkable man, just a passionate man. His grandson's actually hiding in his daughter's stomach right there, the first baby. So that just adds to the joy of these days, if you will. And I just, for me, it's such a blessing that just when I first started talking to Eduardo, I knew and what a good man he was, what a good heart he had, and just a passionate guy, and a guy who can get down to earth. And I just believe in, getting into as real talk as you can. And, I'm very much a spiritualist and a philosopher, if you will. And I don't shy away. I know Pritam and I have admired, some of his Buddhist understandings, and I've studied all sorts of religions in my time, and certainly in this case, I think when we come together, I just try to talk about the purity of love. That honestly, I know there's a lot of factions in the world, and there's Democrats and Republicans, and there's just all sorts of different names for people that represent stances in the human existence. But I try to think about unconditional love and have the purity of that, not tarnished at all, if you will, because I think my involvement in it is just that pure and simple, is that, I believe, being of service to others on this earth, and trying to, bring love and like Eduardo said, tolerance in those things, that's so important. And we have symbolisms and moments that happen like this that have so many connective aspects to it. And I just, I'm excited about being part of Lolita's journey to really great excitement and freedom and things I know that she wants. Just being with her and feeling her energy, and she's special now. I mean, she is the Cal Ripken Jr. of Wales. She's the Joni Mitchell. I mean, who's come through so much. She is one tough creature, and it's amazing. Ever since I was a little kid, I loved whales, just loved whales, just, because the power and the greatness of them and how gentle they are and just, how they interact in a world and see them come and play with people on boats and never at all, knock the boat too hard and just the remarkableness I think that we all have, and we all want to have, pictures of our dogs, because I think the connection with dogs and with other creatures, whales, it's so special because there's just this aspect that is so pure and innocent in these creatures, and from when I first started getting involved with this. Really, I just I'm blessed with my journey through life and business and that sort of thing, and like like I was saying up there by Debbie, definitely a sports analogy, because we have trainers and doctors, and we have the great players, the stars like Lolita is, and we get them ready to play and get them ready to be as great as they can be. And it's been remarkable to see her fight back with her health. And Pritam certainly has been so generous in bringing antibiotics, medicine, ice chips, extra additional purity of waters, to partner with Eduardo, why she's been still here in Miami. And I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. Okay. I mean, I knew getting into this, it was going to be, big number. I mean, it's going to be not 7 figures, 8 figures, and it's going to be, getting into, literally getting her ready to go, getting a 747 or a C-17 ready to go, getting everyone in that transport ready to go, building this netting. And it's so great to have Raynell here from the Lumi tribe as an elder, and that's so special to me, the spirituality and their deep belief, how they're connected with whales and these killer whales in such a special way. And I relate to that totally, because I believe it without a doubt. And I know Lolita wants to get to free waters. I don't care what anyone says. She's lived this long to have this opportunity. And my only mission is, I'm a 3-year-old boy that sees a whale that he loves, that wants to help this whale get free. I mean, that's all, that's my only intention in this. I don't bring any stances to it. I just bring love. I've been blessed, like I said, when I've been out there in business, and I've been blessed with some great successes. I knew when I came back that I would be able to help the world more. I think that's the thing that to me I love doing, whether it's with the band and collection, where we don't charge anything at all for tickets, and we just do it for the service of the arts and connect other charities like Kick the Stigma, against stigmatizing mental health diseases and things, and all the things that I'm involved in. It's really just such a joy to be able to make the world a better place. Paul Allen, my late friend, co-founder of Microsoft, from the Seahawks, who did so much in his life and was an incredible person with his generosity to humanity. And so you see and you learn from people like that. And for me, humility, isn't thinking less of yourself. It's thinking about yourself less. And to me, it's like, through service, like, I rather, there's nothing wrong with people that float around on $200 million yachts, but for me, that's just not my thing. I'd rather be out in the world and evoking change. And I know this is that millions and millions of people out there, given the opportunity, would do the same thing I'm doing, and they do it every day by being, service work, nurses, and, contributing time and working in all sorts of ways for the good of humanity, for the lack of a better word. And so we all do our part. And this is going to be, it's not a short range commitment. It's a long range commitment. It's about, getting this sea park built, for the lack of a better word, in Washington State with the netting. It's about getting, Lolita and the two dolphins out there, somewhere between, probably 6 and 9 months from now. But it takes a village. It's started with the mayor and the councilwoman and others that are here that have helped so much. And, we're working with people in Washington, D.C. to get through as much red tape as fast as we can. Lolita's mom at 89 years old is swimming in those waters in a pod of 12 whales, and there's 17 pods out there of southern killer orca whales. And her pod, as Charles will say, there isn't 100% certainty that that's her mother, and she's 89, but it's a very high certainty that that is the case, and we'll probably be able to test her at some point. And that's the goal is step by step, but, you get Lolita, you get her ready, she gets on that plane, she gets in the water there, she gets acclimated with the dolphins, and then she starts swimming around, and the trainers are there. We're going to have housing for the trainers. We're going to have a warehouse for her food. We're going to have a setup where, there's constant care, teaching her how to catch fish again so she can eat fish, because she doesn't know how to do that. She's been in captivity for that long. And so that process hopefully will lead to eventually her getting out of the gate, getting free, getting with her pod, being in the, Pacific Ocean and swimming free. And I don't no matter what happens here, it's going to be a great tale from my estimation. I mean, people say, well, Kiko got out and then he died after this amount of time. And was it a good thing? Yes, it's a good thing. I mean, you ask someone, and I don't want to say, it's like a retirement home or something, and they say, I want to go home. I don't want to stay here. Well, it might be better if you stay. No, I want to go home, and I know she wants to go home. And I know she has the fire within her on the determination to pull her off. She is special. I mean, just think of the 50-some whales that they caught back in 1970 in that range. All of them died except her. Every single one. I mean, this is a story that's incredible when you talk against all odds and what she's overcome. And I'm just I'm just so excited to be part of it. And when we talk about activism, when we talk about certain stances people take, that's not me. I don't do that. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. Don't put a sign on me, because my only job is to bring as much unconditional love to the world and make it a better place and not get interfered with. I mean, I know different people take stances and I respect them all, but I think Eduardo said it well about tolerance. This is also about, why let yesterday's resentments ruin tomorrow's great moments? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like everyone, to work together, and it's taken everyone to work together to make this happen. And I'm committed to it. I don't, we haven't tied a budget to it. We're going to have some exciting for the world to see. Ryan White here, the great filmmaker, the great documentarian, is here, who's just finished, which is a different bio he did on Pamela Anderson. This is a little different, but still another female creature, so to speak. So, but along with Peter Berg and his assistant Elizabeth Rogers, and Peter being the great filmmaker of Lone Survivor and Patriots Day and all those films, we have definitely a collaboration where we're really excited. And it's so important to have all you media here, because no one knows what's happening unless you tell the story. And hopefully, you know, you can get a sense of our true intention up here, which is really, I mean, you know, it's all to me always about the children, because the children are our next generation. They make the world better. How do you make the world better? You teach children the right way. And many kids are looking at this, and many kids are going to see, you know, they want to know about this whale, and how do adults, you know, treat a creature like that, you know, with the loving interest. And there's so many people to thank. I won't go on too long, but you know, these trainers that work so hard, the vets, the doctors, everyone that's been involved, you know, it's been remarkable. And I can't speak enough about just the positive energy that everyone brings to the table, because being in business and being in adversarial situations, oftentimes you don't usually see this massive cooperation that's been ongoing. And so, you know, I'm committed, and I'm in it. You know, I like to, you know, I guess it's kind of like with the team, you know, sometimes you have a say on what quarterback you're going to pick. Sometimes you let your general manager and coach do it. So, I mean, you know, when I think it's important and have some common sense thoughts, I step up and try to talk about maybe certain things, the way to do things. But I know I'll let Pridham speak, and certainly Charles. We have such great experts here. And like I said, the political powers that be, like the mayor and others in Washington, D.C., that's so important to get their cooperation, because it's not a race. I mean, it's not like, oh, she's, you know, 54. We have to do this so quick, because she could live to 95. We don't know. And at the same time, there's no reason to hesitate or wait. And the medical reports are all tremendous on where she's at. And then it's just really pinning down, okay, you know, which airplane are you going to do it on? You know, how do you get her to the airplane? How can you do that in the quickest way and get her in those waters to make her calm? You know, there's whale whisperers that go with her and bathe her while she's in this, you know, 4-foot water bath that she goes in. And there's great thought and care. It hasn't been done much. I mean, as you guys know, this isn't something that just happens every year. This is very unusual, and it's extra special that I think she has been on the journey she's on, and she has lived as long as she has and has this opportunity. So I'm just so blessed and excited about being part of it. And I will let Pridham, and certainly Charles, if you have something to say, had his expertise. Pridham is a remarkable man, you know, always going around the world. You never know when you might find, you know, it's like, where are you? Oh, I'm in Iceland on this military boat, you know, trying to see if these humpback whales, you know, got free from the icebergs they're surrounded in or something. It's just, he's always on a wild adventure like Jacques Cousteau. So, you know, I'll turn it over to him, and I know he can probably get more expert on, you know, any details that may involve, as well as Charles. So Pridham, welcome. Take the floor.
Wow, these two guys are amazing, and that's really true. They are. I have a calligraphy in my house, which was made for me by my Buddhist teacher, whose name was Thich Nhat Hanh. This calligraphy says, "Reverence is the nature of my love." And I think what we're hearing today is there's this extraordinary love for this animal. This animal, for over 50 years, has moved people, and the people visiting her have been deeply affected by her. And I think a lot of people probably come away like Eduardo's daughter, affected in a way. Oh, there she is. Eduardo's daughter, affected in a way where her respect and reverence for this extraordinary being in our presence moves them in their lives. And I think that you don't protect and care for something unless you love them and you care about them. And that's why we love our children and we care so deeply about them. And I think she has that effect on all of us. In the beginning, I was moved by compassion for her because people like Renelle and Charles explained to me the conditions that she was in. This is prior to Eduardo's involvement. And like so many, I was moved to say, oh, we have to do something. And we absolutely do. And we have. And then this extraordinary thing happened, which is that I went and saw her. And it was more than that. She's a transformative being. And I think she has the capacity to be a transformative message, as Eduardo. So, you know, this whole event has been rather extraordinary. You wouldn't think that Eduardo and I would actually establish a friendship and a rapport. We might establish an arrangement, right? But that's not what it has become, which frankly, Charles and I are more surprised than anybody. And I think Eduardo, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've said to my wife, well, you talk to Eduardo, what happened? And I say, the guy just amazes me. I don't know, it's not what I expected at all. And then Jim, the same thing. You know, I was discussing again with my wife and I said, you know, this whole situation has convinced me that the Holy Spirit really exists and that there really are angels. That the angels showed up and made this happen. You know, first it was extraordinary that we were able to establish a rapport with Eduardo, and then begin to talk. It took a while. It wasn't like the very first chat we had or the first time we, you know, but we established a trust and a relationship. But it was based on, as Eduardo said, deep listening and mutual respect. Most people would think Eduardo and I probably couldn't be in the same room without some fisticuffs, right? I mean, you know, I'm the chairman of an environmental organization, and we have some different ideas than Eduardo does about things, and Eduardo knows that, and I know. But as I listened to him, I could see his humanity. And I could see his care coming out in his statements. And obviously you hear Jim and you can hear it just outpouring from him. Extraordinary. So we began the conversation. We met last year with the mayor and with the county, and we established this new concept, which is openness and bringing in the vets. And Eduardo did something extraordinary. He said, make all the health records public for the first time, let the vets come in independently, and let them publish without any restrictions whatsoever what the situation is. That's really amazing. I mean, who lets any of their business have other people come in and start, you know, and checking out what they're doing and making reports? But people had asked for that. And so he respected and listened. Since that time, we have established a great partnership between our team, Friends of Lolita, Friends of Toki, and Miami Seaquarium. We were able to negotiate a arrangement that's a contract between us to move Toki. There's a lot of work to be done. You know, we have to go to Washington State where we think she should go, and we have to work with the government there, and there's a lot to do there. And there's a lot of technical problems, and we have to deal with the various government agencies and including continuing to deal with Miami-Dade County and the government agencies here. But I think we're up to the task. I think we can do it. And intention is the beginning. We began the intention a while ago, and now we're here today, and this extraordinary step has been made. I consider this, I was explaining to someone, kind of like a marriage, right? You get married, and that means you're bound together. But you have witnesses to your marriage. The key to a marriage, one of them, is that everyone comes together to acknowledge it and witness it. Witnesses are there to do a number of things. One is to be in people to encourage and support that marriage. In this case, out of this marriage, which happens to be us, and we have a child, if you will, to care for. And we care for her as much as a child. And that child is totally innocent. That child can't do anything. You know, I had a granddaughter born 10 months ago, and you know, you hold them, they can't do anything, nothing. Well, they can eat, right? And that's what we have here. And we have to take care of her. She's totally dependent on us. If we don't give her good water quality, if we don't give her good food, if we don't take care of her, if we don't speak to her lovingly, she shrivels up. We have to be there to do that. And now we have to do the next step, which I believe she is both in and of herself deserves for us to take the next move to bring her into a whale sanctuary in the ocean. But secondly, she's a symbol of our recognition today, us human beings now, that in the past we've done things that we shouldn't have done. We made mistakes. We have to fix the damage we've done to this earth. And to fix the damage we have done, she's an extraordinary effort to do it, but she's also a symbol of what we have to do to heal those mistakes. We all make mistakes, every one of us, and every one of us has to recognize that and be better people. That's the nature of growing and being better people. And in this case, that's, I think, what we are and where we are. We are going to take the next steps. We're going to do it together. It could not have been done and couldn't be done without Eduardo. It couldn't be done and cannot be done without Jim's help. When Jim showed up, Charles and I had no idea how we were going to get from here to there. And literally, there's just a phone call. And Jim shows up. What an extraordinary act of radical generosity. Right? I mean, it's amazing. It's so wonderful. And we, Friends of Toki, we, Friends of Lolita, Charles, all of our team working with Miami Seaquarium. And then in who knows, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 14 months, whatever it's going to take us to move her, then a whole new chapter in her life. So we consider it like going to college, right? It's time for Toki to move out of the house and go to college. And we wanted to go to Harvard. So, so that's where we are. I couldn't be more grateful and honored to be part of this. I think it's an extraordinary thing. And I want to thank everyone who's come here today for that. And I can also just add, we are going to need everyone's support. We're going to need a lot of people's support, not a few, but many, many, thousands, millions to get this done. But remember, if she had 2,000 people twice a day come and see her for 50 years, we did the math. That's millions of people. So we know millions of people love her, and we're going to need your support to do it. And thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Pratham. Councilwoman Regalado, would you mind coming and just speaking for a few minutes? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Commissioner Raquel Regalado. I want to thank everyone. And I just wanted to make a brief comment. I'm the commissioner of the district, but Lolita came to the Miami Seaquarium before I was born, and I lived down the street on 28th Road. And Jim mentioned that he saw his first whale at 3. I saw Lolita and Hugo perform at 3. And I saw them once a month and every summer camp. And I know that there's a lot of Native Miamians like me grew up with Lolita and Hugo. And, you know, everyone talks about Lolita. You know, Lolita supposedly was named after the book. But for those of us who speak Spanish, we know that her real name is Dolores. Lolita is actually a nickname for Dolores. And I remember asking my father that when I was 7, why they had called the whale Dolores, and he said that she lives a difficult life. So for those of us who grew up with her, it's always been painful. So just like your daughter, Eduardo, kind of suffered to see her, so did we. So for us, it's such an enormous thing because we have so much nostalgia that's tied to the Miami Seaquarium and to Lolita. And we're so happy that we all get to be a part of it. But of course, we worry about her well-being and her health. And we thank you, for your commitment. And we look forward to this next chapter. But I just want to thank Eduardo for your courage, for your leadership in an industry that doesn't understand what you're doing. So at least from the residents of Miami-Dade County, especially for those of us who grew up with this whale, we want to thank you for your courage, and we stand behind you.
What a great day, and thank you so very much. A couple of little housekeeping items, but Mr. Albor, you wanted to add something?
Sure. Just a few words before we go, and at least I would like to share with you something I have in my mind, and that's because I'm also a man of movies, and now people speak more than movies like a series or Netflix series or any series. And I imagine I was sharing Priyan and Jim the other day, like the last scene of the last chapter of the first season, and I imagine Lolita already arriving to her new home, and I don't know if you know, but she has 2 pets, 2 dolphins that has been with her for many years. But and she said, I have to go with my pet. And when she arrives and with her pet, so there is no place like home.
Debbie, real briefly, Charles, could you come up just real briefly, just say a couple words? Charles Vinnick here. We're really honored by this man's legacy, working with whales and all sorts of, his lineage goes back a long, long way. Because I think didn't you study?
I worked with Jacques Cousteau
Yeah,
for about 30
way back
years.
when, yeah. So, but Charles, as Pritam knows, and everyone knows up here, Eduardo, just love to just have you make just a couple comments about, your excitement about where we're at right now.
I couldn't be more excited. I mean, this is a historic day. I mean, everyone has talked about the collaboration, and that's what it is. It is an absolutely unique collaboration. And each time we get to know one another a little better, it's stronger. And we're more surprised by how we all collaborate, communicate, and respect one another. Without that, none of this happens. And it's all about a whale. If that's all that matters, it's the whale. And every time I talk about Keiko, same thing happens. I spent 4 years with Keiko, taking him back to Iceland with a team of people that knew far more than I did. And here I work with a team of people that know far more than I do. I get to help. And it's about a whale. And that's what we have to remember every step of the way, is everything we do is for her. We don't matter in the process. We're facilitators for her. And she teaches us how to do that better. And so it's a rare privilege to get to do this work. I mean, who gets to do this stuff? We do. And how lucky can we be to be able to do this work? So it's a very special day. We got a huge number of days to come. There are going to be incredible challenges. But as Pritam said, we're up to the task. And we're up to the task together. And without Eduardo's leadership, without the mayor's leadership, Councilwoman Regalado, without Jim coming, and without the incredible leadership of Pritam, this wouldn't happen. But the one that makes it happen is Lolita. So I'm really pleased to be here and pleased to be part of the rest of the journey. Thank you.
Thanks, Charles.
All right. As I said before, there are a limited number of hard copy press releases. Please just see Lorena here or Alexa at the desk. And can I call you Coach Irsay?
Sure.
Okay.
My friends call me Jim. You can call me James. That's it.
Oh, nice. All right.
It's a Bill Murray joke.
All right. So we're going to ask you to make the call and join your fellow partners in this work in putting together a little photo op for us so that we can see the team all together and take some photos to memorialize this historic day. Is that okay with you?
No, that sounds great. Are you going to field any questions from the media or no?
Actually, you are going to get the table right up front. And we're going to ask Mr. Singh, the mayor, Mr. Albor, to be available on the wings here in the room so that the members of the press can have the opportunity to speak with whomever they'd like to speak with. So you're going to be at the head table here, and then we're going to spread out so that everyone has the opportunity to get the information you need for your news coverage.
Okay,
and-
great. Well, that sounds good. Well, Charles and Councilwoman, why don't you come up
Yeah.
with us here, right? We'll take
Yeah,
a picture
yes,
back.
exactly. Right here will be perfect. And everyone, please know that you're welcome to help yourself with water and coffee.
This is Steve Campbell from the Colts. So he does a lot of our PR work for us back in Indy and on the road. So yeah, let's.
Wow, you guys.
Aha, here we are.
Well,
Hey.
we got to see it live. That was not expected, but
No.
appreciated for sure. Giles, thank you for jumping on. I really appreciate you being with us.
Oh, great, Hi,
Um,
Giles.
Hi, Howie.
let's get your
What a day. Let me see if I can get everyone on my laptop instead of my phone so I can see. But carry on. Anyway, I can do that while you're talking.
okay. Giles, what are your thoughts?
You know, it's historic. I mean, it's something that we've all been waiting for decades. And, you know, Howie, I kept thinking about you, wanting you there, wanting you to be a part of that and up there. You know, you've dedicated your life to this. And I feel like Charles, I just really emotional, really happy. And I know you're there in spirit, but you know, you should have been there too.
Oh, well, thank you. And I felt like I felt like, yeah, we started this little trickle, this little tiny wave, and it's just sort of grown and grown and grown. And, oh yeah, it's out way beyond me right now. But oh boy, they said such beautiful things, every one of them, every bit of it. In one way, I was disappointed in the lack of specifics. I want to know a timeline. I want to know a location. I want to know who's contracted. But that doesn't matter right now. What matters right now really is to set the tone, the the cooperation, the miracle of what's happening is just incredible, and they all reflected that. And I am just kind of overwhelmed with the camaraderie, the joining of spirits and energy and unified force field here that is now moving forward to bring her home. And there's no mistake about what their intentions are, and it is to bring her home. I mean, that's what I heard over and over. They'll make it happen. Intention matters. And that's what they definitely showed their intention. And I love it. I mean, this is all the elements, all the energies that are needed were right there at that table, with our help, with everyone pitching right in. So and it'll happen. Wow.
Yeah. It's really exciting.
Yeah, truly. Let's see if I can find the StreamYard link again, and I'll get on the laptop. But go ahead, please.
I'll send it to your messenger too if we need.
Please.
Deborah,
I'm getting a lot of messages.
oh, I'm
I
sure.
would imagine.
I'm sure. Deborah, how are you? I saw you crying through the whole thing.
I was crying through the whole thing. It's the magic and the beauty of what happened today is like off the charts. And I always like, yeah, expect a miracle, expect a miracle, expect a miracle. And today you got to see the miracle, to see those people with the needs that we don't have, speaking in the way that they spoke from their heart. And I really, that wasn't them speaking. That was the angels and the ancestors.
Yeah.
And everybody speaking through them, and to hear them say things that we have said during prayers and intentions and ceremonies, and to see all of that now being in action by people that can make it happen. I'm beyond the beyond, and I apologize for being emotional, but it's
No.
I'm with you also, Howard. I thought, okay, it'd be logistics and stuff, but to hear these grown men talk about spirit and collaboration and angels, and I'm blown away. I'm blown away by getting to just witness the miracle. Just to get
They'll
to
make the details happen, but that unified force field of their energies and their spirits and we've got it all. It's all in place. It's all the elements have assembled.
Right.
I know red tape is nothing now, really, right? I mean,
Right. Oh, yeah.
So,
Toki's been known to jump hurdles before. There's a few more, but and everyone brought it back to her. It's about her. She's the unifier here. She's the teacher. She is
the child, that they would love her as a child.
Yeah. That Prince's wife sang to Toki like she sang to her own kids. That's the kind of love and devotion that will bring Toki home. Wow.
I really like the analogy that Eduardo used as well about her being the bridge over the river of intolerance.
Yeah.
That was really powerful.
Truly, and she is. And that he sees that is beautiful, incredible. It's above and beyond, as Pritham said, this is so unlikely. How could their minds meet like that? And it grows stronger every time they meet. Beautiful. Yeah.
More and more miracles to celebrate and be in alignment with. I mean, it's just, this is all so big. This is just, it's so big. It's so big.
It really is. The media is going to go nuts.
I mean,
there were
crazy.
That was what was that, an hour or so of
About an hour.
all of it quotable, all of it or headlines, I
And you
mean,
know, the energy in that room is just like lightning right now, with everybody trying to talk to these people and so that they can get the best story. It's just going to be like, Raynell, we love you. We love you. Everybody send Raynell some energy.
You
yeah.
and that's who I wish we would have heard from speak, but you know, we know she'll come on and come on Toki TV and be able to talk to us about what that was like for her and her, you know, because I would have liked to have heard from her. But yeah, I mean, they said the details, right? So there's a lot. There's still a lot to do. We know that, and but it's happening, and it's vocalized that it's happening. You know, like it's just
Yeah.
it's for real happening. I just posted in the comments the link to the actual finalized press. What does it see? What does it say here?
Okay, right. Great.
To the actual press release. It was posted on Friends of Toki website just now, and I just shared that link with you all in the comments. So, you know, feel free to go through and read that on your own. I usually am not at a loss for words, but I'm feeling like it's going to take a lot for me to get myself together for our meditation tonight. Giles, you're welcome to join us at 5:30 your time. We do our Thursday. I think tonight is going to be good and powerful. And if there's any more tidbits of stuff, I do want to also let you guys know that Toki TV had their own camera person there today as well. And so different angle. We didn't think it was going to be live streamed. So we did what we had to do to get somebody in the room. And so that recording will be coming soon. And so we can share, you know, different angle. We all got to see it live, which you couldn't have beat that. You know, I would have been freaking out if I was sitting here waiting for video to be sent to me. so
And here was this gift live. Okay, all right. Beautiful.
Up until it went live, it wasn't supposed to be live streamed. So I'm really glad, and thank you, Local 10, and put the little tickler there so everyone knows we were watching it through Local 10. Really happy to be able to share that and to sit here with you guys. And I know we'll all be processing all day, and hopefully we'll have more information to share later. But yeah, you guys go check out the link, and I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, and we'll see you guys tonight.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for joining. Howard and Giles, if you guys want to stay on, that'd be cool. Bye guys.